Everybody, Chris here. We got Dogecoin moving up, and we have a CPI, that's right, a US inflation print happening today on Wednesday. Let's get into it. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out as well as when I do live streams. And we start with Dogecoin around 7.2 cents. And this was after this big move yesterday, which I had also highlighted on X. That's right, over on X Twitter, which is where I am and I hang out when I'm not here on YouTube. And so here I made the graphic yesterday, and it was a pretty clean move. It was a pretty clean move by Dogecoin. Came up over 7 cents, came back, retested 7 cents as support, and then moved higher. It was a very clean move. And now, instead of trading around 7 cents, we're going to trade around 7.2 cents. And we're going to be looking and seeing where is our support. Right now, it looks like to be about 715. Sorry, 715 support in my next live stream, which will be Wednesday afternoon, about 4 o'clock p.m. East Coast time. We'll be checking in and seeing whether that is indeed the case, and we can start to chart this. But it's still a little early for me to start looking at the charting and seeing whether that's a legitimate move and it's going to hold. And plus, again, the CPI print. We're waiting for that. Bitcoin is over 64,000. So Bitcoin has moved back up over 64K, and ETH has moved up back over 1,900. So a stronger move for ETH this morning, back over 1,900. And then we will talk about a couple other things today as well. But let's get into what I have lined up. Spot gold and silver are moving up as well. So kind of all the markets are. S&P 500 near all-time highs. Russell 2000 all-time highs. The Dow Jones all-time highs. NASDAQ is a little bit behind. The tech had a kind of a big sell-off over the past few weeks. And so the tech the tech sector isn't quite back up yet on the stocks. But so CPI today at 8:30 a.m. I'm recording this about an hour before. So we're not there with this yet. Previous was 3.5%. The forecast is now 3.4. So if the CPI inflation numbers are over 3.4, rate cut hopes die, longs get punished. We would see our investments go down if that's the case. If we're below 3.4%, liquidity comes back, shorts get hunted, prices go up. If we're exact at 3.4, probably do some chop up and down. So we'll be watching that, and we will again check in on that and the aftermath of that during the next live stream. Typically, we have seen the June CPI, the July CPI, Bitcoin went up following, and the days following that CPI print. In both cases, though, Bitcoin was on a downtrend leading into the CPI printing, where today we are seeing, Bitcoin kind of had gone down here on Monday and Tuesday and is already coming back up into the CPI print. So kind of interesting. So we'll be watching that. But in the past, we did have in the days following, because the inflation numbers weren't so bad. So we don't know what's going to happen this time. Again, we will be watching that. Right now, it's almost a 50-50 shot on whether we have a rate hike coming in September. And so this is where the focus is on what happens ahead. Markets are forward-looking, and is a rate hike in September already priced in? Well, we could see these numbers change quite a bit today following that inflation print. Interesting thing came across my path here was the 50-week moving average falling below the 100-week moving average for Bitcoin. When this has happened before, it has pretty much signaled the bottom. So we had 2014 into 2015, we had the bottom. We have here 2018 into 2019, we had a bottom. And then 2022 was a bottom. After the 50 moved below the 100, the bottom actually didn't come until about November. And that crossover happened in September. So the crossover just happened. The 50-week just moved below the 100-week on Bitcoin. So, so this is the beginning of the bottoming process that we have on the Bitcoin chart. Michael Saylor says, look, digital money, digital yield are being built on digital credit. Stretch. And this is MicroStrategy's thing. They're still selling Bitcoin in order to fund this thing. And they've been the biggest buyers of Bitcoin since 2020. And they're still selling now. Now, Stretch is getting closer and closer to getting back to the 98, 99, and 100. Not really a peg, but at least the target. And they're doing that on the backs of selling MicroStrategy shares of stock and selling Bitcoin. Now, Phong Li, the other CEO, he says that MicroStrategy is going to start buying back Bitcoin. He didn't say back, I did. Buying Bitcoin again. But they're probably going to wait until the price is up. So they're going to be selling low and buying high. It's just like, that's not the way you're supposed to do it. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. Altcoins are testing 1,000-day support. That's right. If you're into alts, ooh. So this is the total market cap excluding the top 10. So Doge isn't even in this, nor ETH or XRP or BNB, Bitcoin and ETH. This is alts after the top 10, and this has been hurting. It's been a tough year for other alts, and I don't know. We'll see how the old crypto market goes. You know, next bull cycle, are we going to see a big move up for this total 3, like all the alts? But where's all this money going to come from? Where's all the money going to come from that's going to pump all of the alts below the top 10? That's quite a bit. Scenario 2, continuing to go down. Most likely not, because there's so many altcoins. I mean, there's millions of all these stupid tokens being made now. So I think this is going to kind of bleed sideways, is where I think this is going to go. It's going to bleed sideways. But we have Harmony 1. Last night, there was a big exploit. 4 billion one tokens were unauthorized, created new, and the team and devs are tracing the wallets on where these new tokens went. And of course, Harmony 1 price crashed down 35%. Quite a big move down for Harmony 1. Now, I made a lot of money on Harmony 1 back in 2021 and last cycle, and I'm not buying it this time. I wasn't planning on buying it. But these are the kind of things you got to watch for when it comes to these alts, is this kind of thing. And, you know, the AI that the scammers are now using in order to find exploits in crypto and steal money is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And the security of all of these are going to be tested. But if you look at S&P 500 and Bitcoin year to date, and you compare it to Pokemon cards, we would have been better off this year buying Pokemon cards. Of course, Low Roller Scratcher in our live streams is probably all over this already. He's a big proponent of Pokemon cards, and some of you others have been buying Pokemon cards too. Pokemon card values have gone up more than the S&P 500 and much more than Bitcoin, which is actually down 28% year to date. So yeah, Pokemon cards. That's what it is. Let's look at Doge. Our Doge update. Doge seems to be one of the strongest candidates right now for an upside move. Strength is building massively. Can feel a pump coming. Let's see how Doge reacts from here. So here's the breakout from the downward trend. And of course, I had called that last week, that was what the setup was on the chart. And then again, the we retested 7 cents and move higher. So 7.15 right now seems to be short-term support, but pretty clear diagram. And of course, the news articles are coming out now. Dogecoin jumps to nearly 3%, 2-week high, holding 7 cent support, which I showed at the beginning of this video. Dogecoin rises, hits 2-week high. Can Doge clear this next? And what is it going to be? So we look at the liquidations, and even on Dogecoin, we see the shorts getting liquidated, $1.5 million in shorts over the past 24 hours. So, and again, this is a Dogecoin move. It's not, Bitcoin is still kind of, it went down and up a little, but Doge is up quite a bit more. So Doge outperforming Bitcoin right now. So is this the beginning? Have we bottomed, right? And we talked about that about 2 weeks ago, where that might have been the bottom at 6.767 right there. Might have been the bottom there at the end of July and first day of August when that happened. And so was that the bottom for the summer and now we're starting to move higher, or is there more pain coming? So the Bitcoin chart, the 4-year cycles would say September, October will still have more dips. So I'm not overly excited yet. We do have the RSI and the daily coming over 50. So this is a big move for Dogecoin in relative terms. But for August, summer of 2026, that seems to be what we're looking at. So next target is 8 cents. So if we can get back, if we can get above a 7.5 cent resistance level for Dogecoin, and it's been a day, quite a few days, in fact, since we've been back here. This was July 4th. We had that last big move that happened when Doge had come down to 7 cents and then came up and almost touched 8 cents. So that was the move that we had. And that was up until July 4th. We had that. So this appears to be mimicking that move. And will the bulls and the bullish momentum continue to drive this up a little more or not? So that's what I'm looking at. Leave a comment below. What do you think? Dogecoin moving up now. Is it going to continue? Is this a positive momentum that we see that we've been waiting for? Early sign of a turnaround and possibly bull market? Or do you think this is going to turn back down and we're going to see further capitulation? Let me know in the comments below. Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.